consciousness. I don't like my stream of consciousness to be interrupted. And I think sometimes phone calls can do that.
Yeah, because there's another party that's actually
Interrupting.
exactly. Yes. Yeah. No, not responding. Interrupting.
Okay, you don't want to respond.
That's what a
Exactly.
response is. A response is
Exactly.
interruption.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I think this is one of the reasons they might have created Siri for, because you could
Right.
have a full conversation with somebody who's not saying anything at all.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my way.
That's why
I
you
have
like
no idea what the hell I have to do with Siri,
No.
but
I've never tried Siri.
I guess that's how we're starting.
I guess so. I guess so. We're good.
I guess that's how we're gonna start.
Like, we have good conversations here all the time. So
Yes.
we're very, very much looking forward to engaging with you on, all of the different fields that you've
All
been
of the
in.
things.
All of the things, like literally. All of them. All
All
of them.
of the things. Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
Are we ready? I'm just hanging around,
Awkward.
trying to see the vibe.
Okay.
What's happening? What's good?
We're
Hey,
good.
what's happening? Welcome to Past Kabsa. It's your boy Adin, episode 60. I got the homie champs right behind me.
Go.
I got Turks right next to me.
Hey.
And today we got a special guest.
Hey,
How about we start this way? First off, you are so many things in one.
I am.
Now, I don't usually do this. I don't usually have guests come over that I do not know.
No.
But you reached out,
Yeah.
and then I was intrigued,
yeah.
and then I made some phone calls.
Oh.
And I know people
You
that.
checked in on me.
Oh yeah,
did you?
definitely,
Homework.
definitely, definitely. What, you can
Did
slide
I?
by my place like that real quick? No. I had to make some phone calls. A lot of people
Nice.
told me, "Hey, actually sit down and don't ask questions." I was like, "What do you mean? Just sit down and don't ask questions.
Wow.
Just enjoy the ride."
Wow.
So, of course, I never take that for an answer.
Okay.
So
But I like that as feedback.
I
I appreciate
asked,
that.
and people told me like, "There's levels,
Yes.
which is amazing.
yes.
There's levels to this, and now it depends on which level you want to start with." So first off, we have the amazing Rozan Ahmed.
Thank you.
How are you?
I haven't been able to answer that question with full confidence since March 2020. I'm not going to lie
Ooh.
to anyone here. I haven't.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how I am. I don't know if I'm
A creative?
evolving.
A humanitarian? Are you a writer?
I'm
Are you an art director?
all the things.
Are you
All
a,
the things.
are you a fashion consultant? What are you?
Well, the most interesting label I've ever received is Renaissance woman. And I think that is quite
That's-
applicable.
What did I say?
That's a
That's
beautiful
what I said to
title,
him
yeah.
literally 20 minutes ago.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yes, I was like,
yeah.
That's dope.
I think so. And I think that you can be your own Renaissance sometimes, like, especially if you're somebody that is humble enough to always want to learn and always want to improve and use arts and culture as fundamental tools within that growth, not just of self, but like immediate community, then you become a Renaissance, like in and of yourself. And then you apply that. And as somebody who has like this super grand, often stressful vision, there's a belief in that you have to be intersectional. You have to have impact in multiple
Fields.
industries, fields, spaces in order to make a difference. So that's why you got that long list, from fashion to sports to music, but it's all within that zeitgeist of new culture, right? But I'm also a traditionalist at the same time. I've been called a preservationist as well. Someone called me that recently, but it's because I really believe in tradition, but with a futuristic point of view. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
All of this
There's a
fits
lot
in.
going on, yeah.
How do you want to start this? Because someone told me, though, ask, do you want to start in London? Do you want to start in Kuwait? Where do you want to start?
We can start.
We can
with
skip all of that.
Kuwait. We can start with Kuwait because I think Kuwait has given me the most amount of trauma, which
Welcome to the podcast. We're here to expose traumas.
Which is filtered down all the way to the present time,
Yes.
in which I find myself
Yeah.
now. She
If
finds
you
it
guys are
now.
afraid of your past, welcome to this is the right place to be. We're here to
Trauma.
uncover things and screw up your life again.
well, trauma, I feel like impacts you more than anything, right?
Well,
Whether
definitely.
you like it or
True.
not. So yeah, trauma
It forms you.
It forms
Well, let's start at
you.
Kuwait.
So yeah, sorry. You guys made me laugh till I cried. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
good start.
I was born in the UK. Great start. I was born in the UK in West London. So West London is really like, I feel like my definitive foundational cultural home, if you like, because I was born there and basically raised there. But then when I was about 2 years old, we went to Kuwait for a few years. Then when I was about 8, the war kicked off, the Gulf War.
The first Gulf War.
The first Gulf War. So I was on holiday in Egypt at the time. And while I was in Egypt, the war decided to go off and we lost everything. Everything. Like imagine going on holiday and then realizing you can't go home.
Wow.
So I didn't realize actually how much that impacted me until like in my 20s, because my mom and dad were so graceful in our transition, which was back to the UK. They were so just incredible in making us, in normalizing how much we had lost. And by the way, I hate using the word normalizing, but that's really, I hate that word now.
Is it triggering?
I just feel like it's just done to death. Any word that's done to death. But yeah, they really did. So it wasn't until my 20s that I realized actually the kind of immediate necessary transient moment that happened with that kind of affected my whole life, because now I realize that I'm somebody that loves to put their fingers so many different pies in case a pie collapses. So I have others to lean on, which is why I think
you diversify your portfolio.
Yeah,
Yes.
I really like it. It really was until I was in my late 20s that I realized that much of my career has been shaped by that one moment in my life
The
where I
defining
lost
moment.
everything. We lost everything. Like it was the wildest time of my life and I didn't even know it. Put it that way. And it's shaped me.
And unconsciously,
It shaped you, but your parents made you believe that, hey, just breathe.
Just be.
Yeah, just be and just breathe.
Yes.
It's all okay.
Yes.
But you know deep down inside that it wasn't okay.
No. And I didn't realize it wasn't okay until my late 20s. But that's exactly what you're so right. That's exactly. Oh, does he want to join in? The
Come here,
convo?
Labna. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here.
But
Come here,
that's,
Labna.
but that's really what it was. It was one, adaptability, learning, just diving into a whole new culture and just having to fit in regardless. And I think that has been really powerful for me in my career. I'm able to kind of morph, be like water, as Bruce Lee once said.
Yeah.
That's the right way to get to all the places.
Yeah. And that's now my mantra. So I turned what was essentially a trauma into an opportunity, much like my multicultural, like being both Arab and African and English and Sudanese and this and that. So growing up, I didn't really know where I should be in
which
Sudan.
space did you belong?
Yeah. In Sudan, I was too English to be Sudanese. In Africa, I was too Arab to be African. In the Arab world, I'm too African to be Arab. So it's, it's just, it was a mess.
How did you go on with that? Because I faced the same thing. I grew up abroad my entire life. And when I came back to Saudi, I was an adult. And so my family, not as in my parents, but as in my tribe, everybody is very conservative.
Yeah.
And then here comes this idiot in the States who was hanging out with hoodlums all day long.
Right.
And he's coming here and he's like, the way he thinks, the way he acts, not only me, even my sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, like you guys are wrong. We're automatically wrong.
Of course.
And we spent I'm not going to say like 5 years. No, I think until today, we still struggle with that problem. Are we Saudi enough?
Yes.
And the thing is, like, I got to a point, I was like, fuck them. I was like, I am Saudi. This is what the fuck I am.
This is a version of Saudi.
Exactly. I went abroad. I mixed cultures and I came back and I'm still me.
Yeah.
I still have the fundamentals.
Yes.
But a lot of people deceive because the way you speak, the way you act, the way you think.
The way you dress.
Well, especially you, because you're surrounded between countries that it's very hard for a woman to do anything.
Yep. But you see the power in what you have just said, or the crisis turned power. So it was a crisis of identity for all of us growing up. But now I realize that it is a powerful thing and it is an opportune thing. And actually, corporates around the world, these big companies, they should be running towards these multicultural beings because one, we're able to adapt. Two, we have the superpower ability to kind of fit into any realm. I have, thanks to my crisis, thanks to my inability to
thanks to my PTSD,
thanks to my many issues, I am able to walk into a room now and own it.
Exactly.
much faster than anybody else that's just grown up one way.
Because you have nothing to lose.
And because you
You've
have
already
that
lost.
experience.
Because we've had that experience. We've been thrown
Exactly.
into the deep end in every way imaginable when it comes to cultural acceptance, right? We've been thrown into the deep end everywhere. So now I see it as an opportunity. So when I do my talks around this, around the third culture opportunity, I usually end by saying that this isn't an issue of you not belonging anywhere. It's an issue of you belonging everywhere.
Preach.
We belong more so than what is, imposed upon us as what should be. We understand what should be here. We understand what should be there, and we're able to integrate.
On this podcast, we usually talk about this issue. I think even we mentioned it last week when we were talking about the amazing speech that the Crown Prince gave out. Shout out to CP.
Who's CP?
Crown
Crown
Prince.
Prince.
Oh, okay.
That's-
Shout out MBS.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
You know,
Shout out.
we put CP first because he's the Crown Prince first.
Shout out CP. Respect
So
CP.
the thing is, a lot of people, like when we first started this, there was a lot of questions about like, hey, you should be speaking in Arabic because there's more Saudis and Arabs that need to listen to what you're saying than people abroad.
Yeah.
And I keep telling people that we're trying to export our culture. We're not trying to import a culture. There's already Thamania. There's a lot of so many. Ilham.
Mhm.
Shout out to Ilham. Nawaf.
There's so many platforms.
Ilham podcast.
Are you shading
Yeah,
right
Yeah.
now? Oh, okay.
He's a good friend of mine, but he's a pain in the ass. So
All right,
Nawaf
okay.
and Ilham. Okay.
He demands recognition on a constant basis.
So
Nice.
these guys are doing it in Arabic and bringing up all these creatives and showing another side of the country.
Nice.
But a lot of people who are outside, they have no idea what's happening inside.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to gap that.
Shine the light.
I saw an
Bridge.
opportunity in the same way that you saw it. I saw an
Yes.
opportunity that there's a gap that a conversation needs to be had.
I love that.
And at the same time, I'm not trying to limit. We always did on the podcast. We never want to lead a conversation. We would just
Mm.
want to have the conversation.
Yeah.
You guys can do the conversation on your own. Someone can pick it up and lead it on his own.
Mhm.
You know, we want to get more people into all of this.
I like that. And that's what I liked about your show, actually, because,
Sadly.
it's not about, because it's not about echo chambers, right? You
Exactly.
don't want to, you really want to expand and ascend. And I've been coming to Saudi now for 10 years. And the beginnings of my Saudi experience took a lot of convincing. I had a lot of people, friends from LA, New York, London, like, what are you doing in Saudi? Like, one as a woman, two as a Black woman, three as an African in Saudi. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, first of all, there are many people from Africa who live in Saudi, who are Saudi.
So many misconceptions.
So many misconceptions. And I actually, as a woman, feel much safer in Saudi than I do in London.
Any Western country.
Yeah. Or
A
in
lot of
New
people don't
York.
understand that though.
Yeah, I feel safe. I feel that men, there's still a gentlemanly, there's a chivalry to men here that I thank God every day still exists. Because, there's a responsibility. And again, this is the old school Rozan speaking, traditional Rozan speaking. I still believe in those roles. And thanks to hyper feminism, I won't get into it too much because I might get torn down, but I don't really
You might get torn down by me.
no.
Don't worry about
I'll
them.
explain, I'll explain.
You worry about us right now.
Please let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
explain. So I think that there are some ideals within Western feminism that don't speak to me. I think that as a woman,
That don't speak to the Arab world at all.
at all. So I just think that, that one, it's good for us to define our own feminism. I'm also from Sudan, remember? So in Sudan, we had the first parliamentarians, the first referees. There was shock and horror over the fact that women were protesting in our last revolution. We were doing that in the 60s, in the 50s. So we have our own feminism. The world's first queens who won wars as wives were Sudanese women. So we know feminism. Thank you.
You have that. You have your heritage. You are aware of your own
Yes.
heritage.
So I think it's important that, and with respect to men in that equation, with a lot of respect to men as partners. Men
Not
as
really, but
equals.
okay.
No,
I'm joking.
we do. So these.
I'm trying to throw them a
a
bone.
Yeah. So these are just ideals that I have as a woman. So I generally, because I feel that relationship, somewhat. I mean, I can't speak for the whole of Saudi, but my experience of Saudi is that I feel safer here because there is an understanding of, and
The
respect.
boundaries, in the sense, and
Best.
the respect as well.
Yes.
And also, there's a government that cracks down on these things
Big
Heavily.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heavily.
Yes. Yes.
And that's a lot of things a lot of people don't know.
yeah.
One of the things that we do on the podcast, so like we've been having arguments with journalists. I know a few journalists and a few international ones,
Yeah.
and I've been having fights with them
yeah.
because about the things that they cover. Like
Okay.
I have an issue with people who live here and then they just decide to nit and pick what they want to report on based on what their editor-in-chief wants.
Oh, of course.
We know that.
Of course. There's
Also the clickbaiting that's
politicizing.
also involved into everything they do.
And there's a large element of media clickbait culture
Of course.
that we're aware of, and we see, and we're extremely negative of and critical of.
It's the politicizing for me. It's like you will take. I worked on a comic that
I
was
wanted to get that.
focused. Yeah, Latifah.
We're all
Yes.
very interested in that, by the way.
Yeah.
Huge
Yeah,
comic
definitely.
book nerd, by the way.
Oh,
right
you
here.
are.
Yes.
I hope you have
Huge.
copies of Latifah.
They don't.
Don't.
Oh, I will get you
Unfortunately
some.
not.
I'll
Please,
get you some.
yes,
I'll get you
please.
some. I'll
Yes,
get you
yes.
some.
We'll put it on the wall right here.
Yeah, I still have a few somewhere. I think they're in Dubai. I'll get them to you.
And
But-
we're going to Dubai.
Yeah. Well, Latifah is actually Saudi's first female superheroine. And
How did that come about?
that was really the dream, the brainchild, the fantasy of a very good friend of mine called Prince Fahad Al Saud. So he has been a fellow visionary, if you like, for Saudi for many years.
YOLO Fad, we know.
YOLO.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Shout out YOLO
so-
Fad. Shout out.
Yeah,
He is a visionary.
He really is. And years ago, I met him like 8 or 9 years ago. So he had all of these ideas that are happening right now in Saudi, like the implementation of tech and connection and art and comics and, and creating apps so that young children can learn Arabic again. So he had all these ideas years ago. And anyway, Latifah was part of this fantasy world that was in his mind called Saudi Girls Revolution. And yeah, so he asked myself and Stan Berkowitz, who's a legendary comic. I'm
Comics
sure you
books
guys know
artist.
him. Yeah. So, thankfully, he agreed to get on the project. I
That's
came on as
amazing.
editor. Yeah. And then we created these protagonists, females, warriors of Saudi, Latifah being the first to come out. And the reason why she was called Latifah is I'm somebody, as you can probably tell now, I love intersection. I love middle ground. I love gray. So Latifah was both a representative of someone who's compassionate, but a vigilante, as
Okay.
well.
Mm.
That's interesting.
She's both kind and considerate and maternal and nourishing as a woman, but she'll also kill you in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Okay. I have both sides.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Sounds
both
really,
sides.
it's just pretty real for me for a
Yeah.
second. I know that vibe.
Yes.
I'm sure you know a few women like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So what was so crazy for us is it's a comic, and we still had media politicizing the hell out of it. It was the same with another huge project I did here, the AJ Ruiz fight.
We'll get to the fight in a second.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, politicized.
Here's the thing about YOLO Fahad. YOLO Fahad
Yes,
he wasn't real. Do you understand this or not?
I do.
Yes.
For a lot of people,
For a lot of people, he wasn't real.
he existed in a spectrum that is
For
not
the
part of reality.
creative-
I think you'll love that.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
for the
you'll love
creatives,
hearing
I'll
that.
tell you from my point of view. For
Yeah.
the creatives, he was an imagination.
Yeah.
He could not be real.
Mm,
Someone with that status being so creative
mm.
and crossing borders and crossing lines and telling you he's pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no, that's not real.
Mm.
This is some guy that's stealing a name. And as time went on, and he just kept being himself and being that creative, that visionary, and everyone's like, oh wow. And there's
Fought.
a
He really
lot of people like him that don't want to say that are like him,
Mm.
but there's a lot of people that are so inspired by what he does
Yeah.
and would love to be on that level. Because
He's gonna love hearing that.
I've never met him in my life, but everything that I see him do, I know this guy is not just doing it for the sake of doing something. No, this guy really thinks he brings things to life.
It's an example
Mm.
of somebody who's authentically true to himself. And honestly, for us seeing somebody being that true,
Mm.
it was not something that was easy to believe.
Mm.
Or
He was a fiction of our
Yeah.
yeah,
imagination.
exactly.
Like for me, I would understand it because I grew up abroad. I understand that
yeah.
people have their own personalities and live their own personal lives. But in
Yeah.
Saudi, it's a huge family culture. And Saudi's very, very hard to really understand.
Yeah.
There's people in Saudi that do not really understand Saudi.
That's
Turks is right there.
Right here. Yeah.
There's so many tribes and so many cultures.
Yeah.
It's a melting pot of Arab culture.
It's so much. Yeah. Sudan is
it's-
very similar, by the
exactly.
way. Where I'm from. We're very similar in
And
terms
the thing
of
is, like,
who we are.
Who he is, how he came out, it was like, no, this can't be real. And then when you see him, see what he does, and
everywhere.
I can go on about it for so long because
Yeah.
I never expected to see someone so bold
Yeah.
and so honest.
He was definitely ahead of his time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
ahead
he
of his
was.
time. Yeah. If he was to do what he's doing, what he did back then, now, I think it would have also
Had a bigger splash.
had a bigger impact, a more understandable level of reaction and support.
Mhm.
Whereas back then it was
Revolutionary.
provocative.
Yeah.
Yes.
As opposed to, because there's a big difference. I think there's a big difference between provocation and revolution.
Mm.
Yes.
So while to some, what he was doing was wildly revolutionary and incredible, to others it could have been provocative because he was, a man.
But him being
way before
himself,
his time.
and I hope he does know this, he paved a lot of ways for people to be themselves.
I love to hear that. I
No,
believe
he
that,
did. A
and
lot of
I'm-
people, I
and
don't think-
love that.
There's a problem in our culture that we cannot give people their props that they
credit.
deserve and their credit for what they're doing.
Unfortunately,
Big problem.
Yes, we do.
Big.
Yeah, we have that problem in our
Big.
culture,
it's an ego thing.
and it's a huge ego thing.
Mhm.
But I can guarantee 1,000% that this man changed the lives of many people. But they're
Oh, love
not
that.
out there to say it. But once he's attainable, that people can actually reach him, sit down, and talk to him, he'll see it for himself.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking about a female comic book heroine, right? Saudi
Yes.
female comic book heroine. Now Saudi has an entire company for manga productions. So the acceptance of the merging
Yeah.
of cultures of different places,
Yeah.
it's happening on a day-to-day basis.
It's
now.
happening. When we went to Comic-Con, we did Comic-Con in Jeddah maybe 4 years ago now.
The first one,
Yes.
The first Comic-Con.
that was wild.
Yeah.
I was there. I saw your booth over there.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
I did.
Yeah, we had so many young girls come to myself and to Fahad crying. Young Saudi girls just crying.
That's
Thank
it,
you. Thank you for creating someone
representing.
that looks like us. Thank you for the crying. And Fahad and I would look at each other like, Mom, Mom, so
Because
this was worth it.
you're
you
touching-
know?
It is worth
Like,
it. It's worth it.
You are
It is.
touching people's lives, like
Yeah.
directly touching people's lives.
Yeah, it was incredible. And Stan came too. Stan Berkowitz. That was his
Oh,
first
nice.
time in
That's dope.
first time in Saudi.
Turks, you didn't see your
I
superhero
did
there?
not see him.
You didn't see him?
Unfortunately,
You
no.
didn't see him?
man.
Ah.
He was there signing autographs the entire time.
That's beautiful.
Turks
Yeah,
has
he
no
didn't have
life.
a
He's an
moment.
architect, so he's soulless.
Barely. Yes.
We need to create like a superhero for Turks so he can just wake up every
I mean,
morning happily.
representation is key. We just said that.
I
We just said that. Yeah.
Mohandas Talal.
Yeah.
Architects are the creatives of our interior lives.
Thank you very much.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
that was a lot of
They
words in one place.
inspire.
All right, first off, pick out those words, put them back.
They are, I'll
the
tell
life
you.
you live in. I mean,
yes.
yeah.
You are the creatives of our domesticity.
Thank
How
you
about
very
that?
Okay, not all of them. All right,
That's you.
No,
bro.
not
That's
only
you.
your domesticity.
That's you. That's you.
Everywhere.
like
Everywhere you go.
maybe 8 of them. That's about it.
Yeah,
The rest are just pluses.
We're draftsmen. We just draw stuff.
The
Let's
roast
go to
continues.
Joshua.
Anthony.
Yes.
Okay.
How did that come about?
Wow. Oh. Yeah. It came about. Let's put it that way. Well, okay, so I'm the only woman, I guess, in this mix of this all coming together. So yeah, that in itself was a moment because as much as I loved it, I also felt like I was entirely overwhelmed by like tons of masculinity, but it was also a good thing.
It was a boxing fight, so
Yeah,
what do you
it was-
expect,
yeah.
It was literally all egos
Yeah.
from the boardroom to the
Woo.
fight.
It's
Woo.
testosterone coming out the nostrils.
It was.
You know?
It was
Protein shakes everywhere.
yeah. Yeah, it was great though. It was great because I it's weird, but I really because my background and so much of my life is in fashion. It was actually really nice to be around hyper masculinity for a change. Boxing is
Okay.
I'm sorry that you had to come
No,
here.
sorry.
I'm sorry that you had to come here.
For a change. For a change, you're
For a
here now.
change.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, like,
There, not here, there.
no, it's nothing.
Oh my
I have
God.
nothing. I have nothing against the more feminine males of the world. I have
Yes.
nothing against that.
It's nice to have a balance.
You have nothing against them on mic.
Exactly.
On mic. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Anywho, I'll go back to the fight. So there was an interest here in Saudi to host this huge fight. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about boxing. I didn't know the importance of the belts. Like I didn't
Wow.
know anything.
You had no idea who Anthony Joshua was?
No, I knew who Anthony was simply because he's a Londoner and so am I. So, and we have a bunch of mutual
Oh,
friends.
Londoner. Like,
Yeah.
neighbor.
Well, I mean, we move in similar circles.
Oh,
a lot
interesting.
of his friends are my friends. I've met him a couple of times at events and stuff. So the interest came about. One of my very good friends who lives here, who is now considered I don't know, in the media at the last fight, we're calling him the godfather of boxing in Saudi. So he's a very good friend of mine. And he asked me to essentially put this together, getting a hold of Eddie Hearn. and I was like, who's
Easy.
Eddie Hearn? Who's Eddie Hearn?
And what am I doing here?
Yeah, and then he's like, "No, Rozan, I know you can do this. You could do this." And I'm like, "All right, cool. Let me look at this." And then so I sat down, worked things out, figured out, blah blah blah. Brought all the gentlemen together,
Put everybody on a table
and
in a
put
room.
everyone on a table, and then it came about. And what was so incredible for me,
How quick did
was-
it go?
we started talks in August, and the fight was in December. 4 months.
That quick.
That's how. 4 months.
This is why I was so impressed because someone told me, it's like,
It was
yo,
incredible.
she handled it perfectly.
Yeah. It
So props to
was-
you on that one.
Thank you. It
We were
was
there, by
very-
the way. Like,
You went to the
I-
fight?
yeah,
They were there. I
definitely.
wasn't there.
It was amazing.
It was so good.
It was
I wasn't back in Saudi yet.
What?
right?
It was
I don't
no.
remember.
No, I think I
Were
was
you
still
with
abroad
us?
at that time.
Tricks? Were you with us?
I wasn't. No.
Oh, I was there. I was there.
Oh, I
I
loved
enjoyed
it.
it. I enjoyed it. It was
When
an amazing
Anthony
fight.
won, I thought it was really a moment, like for all of us. And it was also because I have, any way I can, I try and somehow integrate the African continent into the mix
Mhm.
to build a kind of Arabian African connection. Like that's always kind of the undercurrent of every mission I undertake,
Mm.
right? So what
It's also part of the
love-
vision.
It's part of the vision, yes, to bring us together.
And it's part
because-
of our heritage as well.
Yeah, we don't need what I believe is a Western middleman to kind of deal with everything. We're next door to each other.
Hell no,
Exactly.
We know
definitely.
each other.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
what'd you call him last episode?
It was like
White capitalist man?
White
White
capitalist
capitalist
man.
man.
White
Oh wow,
capitalist
okay,
man.
we're being frank, are we?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
So we're not, being
No,
political.
no, 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 no,
That's
no.
not what we do here.
No, no, no.
Yeah, that's not what we
Okay.
do.
Yeah, we're straight up honest.
Okay, well, there you go. We don't
Yes.
need that. We don't need that as much. We're neighbors. We have so much more in common with each other than as somebody who is both quote unquote Arab. That term in itself needs a lot of work.
Deconstruction.
Yeah, I mean
Mm.
that was also given to us by our Western friends.
Yes.
So as an Arab and as an African woman, I see the similarities we have as people. And we're next door, we're closer to each other. So therefore, why aren't we working together? Why aren't we talking to each other more, visiting each other's parts of the world more? So yeah, that was kind of the undercurrent as well. And then when AJ walked out with Fela Kuti playing, and I consider him one of my spiritual husbands, just
Just FYI.
I'm married to him in my head.
If he has no idea.
Yeah. I'm married to several men in my head.
Oh, well, good for
they
them.
aware? That's the
No,
question.
they're not.
They talk to me on a regular basis.
So perhaps
they must have an idea.
Makes
I
sense.
mean,
one day they'll find out.
they'll know. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they kind of know.
They kind of know.
I think they know.
Their spirits know.
When I met Fella's son, Shion, he looked at me and he was like, "Hello, mom," and he came in. I was like, "Bro, no, don't do
That's not what I'm
that.
going
That's
for."
weird. That's kind of weird. Stop. That's weird."
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I don't know if I should say spiritual. I should say more like ancestral guide.
في الآخر- في الآخر إن شاء الله.
There we go.
Ancestral guide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds much better.
Yes. So when
Ancestral
that
guide.
ancestral guide. So when
Right.
that happened, and and then he won, I just thought that it was such a beautiful union because it was sold out, first of all, completely sold out. And it was one of the only sold out events during Diriyah season. And the fact, and it was predominantly Saudi crowds, and they were like, Joshua, something, Joshua. They were singing this song. I don't know.
It was a moment.
It was a moment,
It was a
man.
moment.
I was in tears, and I bought Israel Etsanya, the UFC champion, who's also Nigerian. I had bought him. Yeah.
Amazing.
And he was there, like, I don't know, there's a Yoruba feather that they do. I don't know, so he was waving that, and I was just in tears. My brother was holding me, and I was in tears.
That's amazing.
It was an incredible moment because I felt like it really captured the dream, and that is for us as a people who know each other, understand each other, know each other's pain, just coming together, man. I loved it. And I hope there are many more moments like that.
Oh, inshallah, there's gonna be this is just a drop in the bucket of what's coming.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of great new things that are gonna be heading our way. We're just waiting for this COVID thing, to just relax for a minute.
Leave us alone.
Leave us alone.
Once COVID allows us to live again.
Yes.
See, no, we can live. There's vaccines available for people to jump on it so we can live.
Other people to live.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know about that. But
It's up to you. You can not know whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's only one reality.
Yeah.
We're all vaccinated here, so.
Oh, you are?
Of course we are.
Oh, okay.
If we
I'm
mutate
not
in a minute,
as yet.
it's all good.
Okay. You start speaking another language.
Yeah, it's all good. It's
I
all
don't
good.
know. No, I haven't vaccinated as yet, but I'm not for or against. And I think, again, what is wrong with being in this gray area? I believe in just observing, giving everything a little time.
No, we're gonna judge.
Watching.
We're gonna judge.
Don't
We're
judge
gonna judge.
me.
We're gonna judge.
Don't judge
Too
me.
late.
I'm just waiting. I just feel like I want to wait because there's a lot of confusion ongoing. Clearly, some vaccines are banned and then they're not, and then this and research and okay, actually you need this vaccine once a year now as opposed to just one. So I'm
So
just
what's
like,
It was never
God.
supposed to be one in the first place, anyway.
Pfizer they're now suggesting
The pill.
that it is an annual pill or something. So I
No.
don't know.
This tablet is supposed to be that if you feel your COVID is acting up, then
So it's like a COVID
you
relief.
take.
So it's a treatment rather than a vaccine.
Yes.
You got the vaccine first. Now we're getting the treatment.
See, this is what we had. This is what opened the discussion.
Quiz.
Yeah, this is what opened the discussion of white capitalist math. Exactly where we got there.
Because
Yeah.
the mRNA technology is an amazing technology.
Yes, that I will agree with.
Yes.
I'm excited
So
about that.
This is why a lot of
Mm.
people are accepting it because that technology
Mm.
is opening a whole new door for us.
Correct. I
So
agree.
we can be curing cancer. We can be curing a lot of new diseases.
Mhm.
So I
Inshallah.
took the vaccine. Inshallah, I took the
Inshallah.
vaccine because
Inshallah.
of that, because of mRNA.
Great. No,
And-
I agree with you. I do think it's a great technology. I actually just recently looked into it. One of my friends who's super pro vaccine.
Is he a white capitalist man?
No. actually a very intelligent Saudi woman.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So she's-
Who works with
She's not a capitalist or a man.
well, she may be a capitalist. She may be
Yeah,
a
good on her.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
on her.
She-
Be you.
yeah.
Be you.
She may be a capitalist, but she knows a number of virologists.
Interesting.
Sorry, I'm learning all these medical terms.
New
But anyway,
terms.
new terms. So alien, these terms. None of us are medically inclined to speak on any of this. This is how I feel.
True. Thank you.
Including
Yes.
Bill Gates.
I agree. Yes.
Thank you.
Especially Bill Gates.
Especially
Oh, Bill Gates got a lot of the hate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Trust me.
deservedly so.
Yeah,
Yes.
fuck Bill Gates.
Yeah, you're not a doctor.
Yes.
Shut
No.
up.
Exactly.
Like, shut up. So yeah, she spoke with a number of virologists and she was telling me about mRNA. So just recently I found out about it and it's exciting and needed. So
At first-
I'm not, like I said, I'm not anti or pro. I'm just observing. I'm waiting until people make up their minds.
I
about
have
what
a
they're
friend at she works at the CDC in the States,
doing.
and well, she used to, and we used to have this
Oh,
conversation.
she did. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Relax, my guy.
Oh,
Relax, my guy.
go on.
Relax, my guy.
She's very
Relax.
serious.
Okay, relax.
Okay.
And so we were having conversations
You guys
before the
are-
vaccine came out
Yeah.
about what's really happening.
Mm.
And like every day she would tell me, like the CDC would come out and say, "Oh, 1, 2, 3," and I'll get a text message. Bullshit.
Mm.
The
Seriously?
the CDC would come out and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what we think. She sent a message. Bullshit.
Oh,
We don't have the data. We don't have the data. We don't have the data.
okay.
all the
You
time.
see?
And then that's when
Mm.
I ignored everything that's happening abroad. I was like, I just looked at the Ministry of Health. I was like,
Mm.
what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And I just followed what the Ministry of Health did here, and everything went fucking smoothly.
Great.
If they tell me right now I have to jump out of this window to avoid COVID,
yeah.
I'm gonna look down like, all right, 3 feet.
Yeah.
I got this.
Saudi, fairly, let's be fair. Saudi has handled COVID way better than any Western nation I
Amazing.
know of.
Amazing.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And also
Yeah.
in Africa too. If you look at some of the Senegal, the way they've handled COVID,
Yes.
$1 testing kits, like
Wow.
a year ago, they
Yes.
came up. Yeah, $1 testing PCR tests.
Kids.
Yeah, like there is Kenya's been handling it really well. They've had like a consistent curfew of either 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. since the start. And so because of that, numbers have been stable. And I don't know. I just think many other countries have handled COVID better because, for example, Senegal and other Western African countries, we've had viruses, we've had breakouts, we've had cholera, we've had Ebola. So we're able to deal with kind of medical catastrophes like this.
You
So,
guys
yeah.
have the experience is already there.
Yeah.
from
so,
past-
yeah. So listen to Saudi. It makes sense.
Plus, and there's an element of not politicizing the science, and I think this is what a lot of the UK and the US went through.
There you go.
Politics got in the face of what good sound science would say,
Mhm.
and this is one of the things we didn't see in Saudi. Like,
Politics and profit.
There
thank
you go.
Yeah.
Big pharma.
Politics.
Big
and-
pharma.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's dangerous.
This is why I'm grateful for the transparency of the ministry telling us exactly how it is. Another thing, another part of it besides also lives. I mean, look at you were playing with so many things. You were playing with lives, with businesses, with infrastructure, with GDPs. You were playing with
Yep.
so many things.
I
It
know.
was not easy. It was not easy. You can save a country from one thing, but you'll get hurt by the other.
There you go.
You cannot play it safe.
There you go.
And the way everything has been balanced and the books have been balanced in the middle of all this, we're just so grateful to be a part of this and to
Mhm.
actually feel comfortable that okay, someone's looking over me.
Mhm.
I don't need to
Exactly.
wait and see which newspaper is going to give me what new bullshit to listen to.
And that's the biggest blessing. It's a
Especially,
big
Most
blessing.
definitely.
and those
Yeah.
blessings only show during
Big blessing.
crisis.
That's very true.
Mhm.
That's very true. And I guess that's why I am choosing to observe and be patient. Because we're in a crisis. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's
about it.
definitely
We're gonna lock her up and get her vaccinated in
Don't
10
worry
minutes.
No,
My-
no,
my
you're
dog's
not.
got the vaccination. Yo,
No,
let
you're
me
not.
let me get the vax.
No, no.
Let me come with the syringe.
I'm a wait and see. My parents got vaccinated.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and my brother, but I'm gonna see I'm gonna try and hold it out. I mean,
So-
my dream is to move to Kenya soon. Like that's my next kind of goal.
So she's escaping.
Yeah. That's what I'm kind of, if I have to, I want to live in Kenya. I feel that there's a lot of us in the world right now that need peace. And
Tranquility?
also, yeah, just a moment to kind of really reflect on what we've all been through. As a creative executive or whatever you want to call me, I don't know what you want to call me, but there's a lot of people within my realm that are feeling similarly
Burnt out.
burned and burned out, and just wanting to kind of reconnect again, and humanly, not through a phone or something or through a Zoom call. So I feel like I would like to go to Kenya for a while, and I'm
Reflect.
organizing a retreat in Kenya for all of us around the world as creatively inclined beings that need to be with nature, or maybe they don't know they need to be in nature. Like just come.
They
and
have
see it
no
for yourself.
idea
They
what
don't know they
require.
need it. Yeah, to heal. I think that we are at a time where healing is key. I mean, we have to know and understand that we are entering a whole new world right now.
Yes.
Yes, we
Like,
are.
and just because we can order Starbucks doesn't mean
Exactly.
things
Yes.
are okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Things are wild right now.
We
guys.
went through something like all of us that you can't just shrug off and
You
just
can't just-
continue. You need to heal. You need to go through the process.
There you go.
I agree.
And it's a
Yeah.
collective thing. Like
Yeah.
I can't recall another event that literally had everybody from Rome to Sao Paulo stopped.
There
Yeah.
you go.
The entire human civilization basically.
Mhm.
Had to basically take a step and stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I was telling you at the beginning, like, I don't know exactly what's happening to me. I don't know if I am ascending as a being and I am becoming a better human, or in terms of my response to our current reality, or if I've gone entirely numb. Like I can't.
That's why you need that space. That's why you need that time to figure out.
Yeah. And I've been giving myself that time. And I think a lot of us need that time because it's crazy. Like the messages I get on Instagram, for example, like when I was in Kenya, I came to Saudi from Kenya. So when I was posting pictures of just nature, I was getting messages from, where are you? I really need to go there. I feel like I need this. What are you doing? Are you organizing it? When is it? When's the retreat? You know, and it's, there's a need, I think, for tranquility. Yeah, for a moment of just really what has happened, guys. What has happened to us? And let's make
I
the
also need some tranquility with my stock portfolio
best.
and my wellness. I need pictures of stock portfolios also to see what's been happening in the world.
Well, you know
because some people have been making money, they should not be making money.
Oh, so many people. Well, crypto's blown up. So that's another crypto. And that's a whole other argument. Like there's so many new things, new opportunities that have come from the crisis.
Past the Kabsa Bitcoins are coming up soon. We're just waiting for it.
Wait for the Elon Musk tweet.
Yes.
We're all that.
Guys,
We will rob you. We will rob. Now I'm gonna say it right now. Our crypto, we will steal your money. Do not buy it. You will get nothing.
I don't know how to deal with crypto. I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm like,
it's okay. At least you're not hurt. There's someone here. I don't want to mention his name.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That story.
Who has money in Bitcoin and forgot his password?
From years.
Who invested in 2009, 2010? Let me just put you how far back?
That means you must be a
2013.
millionaire. You're a
Yes.
millionaire.
Yes.
I have a large.
No, don't worry. He's already a millionaire by family. But I'm saying he should be his own millionaire.
No, but crypto millionaire.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're a crypto millionaire.
No. He has no password.
My riches
He's
are
broke.
locked away. My riches have been taken away by the algorithms of the computer. Unfortunately.
So all he
Sorry,
does.
guys, I don't have COVID. Don't
That's
worry.
okay. It's all right. We're gonna blame you anyway.
I was just laughing
We
too
got
much.
vaccinated for you.
You risked your lives for me.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Don't worry about it.
Speaking-
Shamsi's just looking at the crypto numbers going up and just crying, shedding tears all
I
day.
am sorry.
Don't be.
That's the only
Don't
thing,
be.
That's the only thing that elicits tears from me nowadays.
Wow.
Yeah, just looking at the price of
Tears.
Bitcoin.
That's ugly. That's ugly.
Zero
tears.
feeling.
Yeah.
Ugly.
Zero
ugly.
feelings.
Oh,
I-
It's
I-
just about money.
Let me ask you a question. Since you're talking
You can
about
ask.
all of the changes that are happening and coming, what is for you the most exciting thing that you're looking forward for in the next 5-10 years
In this new era?
in this new era?
She still needs tranquility for that.
No, I think what excites me is one, the clean slate. The fact that we are able now to just kind of start anew. And that can probably create, I hope it creates a lot of beautiful things. Personally, I am excited about, and again, I'm hopeful. This is what I'm steering towards, a higher level of connectivity amongst humans. Like, and I'm speaking very generically, I know, but like, so before we used to look at each other and be like, hey, how are you? And then you'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. But you weren't fine.
Mhm.
Whereas now I think because of what we've been through as a humanity, we're able to kind of have more honest conversations. That's what I'm looking forward to,
Yeah.
because I think conversation is fundamental to development.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think
I
of
think-
the
I
first
think it's
part
the first step.
of people actually trying to be more open about themselves and about how they are.
Yeah.
I think that's going to take a while.
I think they are. I think
But
we've been
it's-
closed
No,
up for so long that everyone's just an open book right now. Like, yo,
Okay,
yo,
so I
this
think
is me.
this is
Yeah.
just a trend, and we're going to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Because if everyone's coming out and saying the same thing, everybody's coming out putting their feelings out there, and there's really a lot of solutions for what people. Because if I'm telling you how I'm hurt and I'm getting no answer from you, I don't know why am I telling you. So over
Yeah.
time, if I'm still talking about my pain and no one is answering me, I'm gonna go back and close up again.
Oh, no. I don't see. This is the thing. This is how I look at it. I don't believe that we should be dependent on feelings. I think feelings must align with action.
There you go.
There is definitely a problem now in the kind of hashtag world where it's like there's this kind of imposition. I must see you the way you see you. No, I don't agree with that.
Exactly.
Absolutely, I don't.
Preach.
Yeah, and just because you feel like, here's a bag, the bag can walk in one day and be like, I'm a basketball. Okay, no, you're a bag.
You are a bag.
Sorry, I'm really sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but
no, that is
but you're a
true.
bag.
That is true.
I mean, you can feel like a basketball if you
Sure,
want,
that's up to you.
but don't force that on me.
Yes.
You know, don't force your feelings of what you see onto that. That doesn't work.
I don't have
That-
to agree with you.
I don't have to agree with you, but we can. I hope that we reach a time where we can have kind of really honest conversations, like right now. You know, I said something, you were like, I don't agree with that. Okay, cool. Tell me why. You know, we're able. We're.
It's
I'm
okay to
hoping that we're
disagree.
expanding. Yeah, I hope that we are expanding in our minds to agree and disagree and talk and debate, because, in my opinion, development starts in conversation. That's how I feel.
That's
So I
that
hope-
part.
yeah.
I agree with 1,000%.
Yeah.
Communication. It's all about communication.
That's
And also, no, you need to have the freedom to communicate and
Mhm.
also be heard, and not feel that you are neglected if someone doesn't agree with you.
yeah,
It's okay for someone to say no.
exactly
Like me and these guys, we don't agree on a lot of things. We just don't.
and that's the beauty of your
Yeah,
friendship.
exactly.
And you make fun of each other.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's literally it.
Exactly. We all have
Yeah.
like different, the way we look at the world, because we all grew up totally different.
Yeah.
They grew up very rich. So
We grew up very local. We
I'm
grew
just
up
messing
very
with them.
local.
I'm just messing with them. Me and the guys had this amazing
That's
conversation.
hilarious.
You're not from Saudi.
No.
So me and you almost fit in the same bubble of looking at what Saudi is and Riyadh is.
That's
Except
true.
because I have like a cultural background here, I can
Yeah.
understand it more.
Yes.
So the way I look at Riyadh right now and the way these guys who grew up here look at Riyadh,
It's completely
Mhm.
different.
we had a huge conversation once, which we're going to go into like later on,
Mm.
about what the city is. And then I told them things that just sparked the realization like, oh shit, yeah, there's levels to this city now
Mhm.
compared to what it was before.
Mhm.
From his experience.
Yeah.
From
From my
his point of
experience.
view.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, of course.
Like the way I look at Riyadh is no different to New York for me.
Okay.
It is no different to New York for me.
True.
You
I can
come here,
agree
you
with that.
hustle, you work hard, you win.
It's definitely opportunistic. Like
Exactly.
New York. That's definitely true. That energy is here. I feel it.
And
Strong.
also, like, if you know a lot of SMEs here, the way that I do and the
Yes.
guys do,
Yes.
you see the hustle mentality that you've never seen in Saudis
Yeah.
before.
And you know what else? Speaking of that, going back to your question of what I look forward to. So a lot of my ethos, ethics, morale, vision is the cultivation of locality, cultivation of local production, celebration of what we can create locally. So I think another great output of the COVID era is that, you know, for example, with Saudi being like kind of locked in itself, there's an opportunity now where people have to kind of look at what they have directly in front of them and make it better.
People look
And-
inward.
Yes, looking inward. Like the fact that local tourism has gone up tenfold during COVID here in
And that's
Saudi
just the start.
is incredible. Like
Mhm.
I went to Al Ula maybe 3 years ago now when it first opened,
When it
because
first pops up.
yeah, I was like I said, you know, I've been here for 10 years now. So I've got my fingers with, you know, the Royal Commission and this and this and this. So when Al Ula first opened, you know, most of us were international visitors. There were definitely, you know, there was a good Saudi presence, but now every weekend Al Ula is packed with locals.
Yes.
Yep.
That for me is a celebration and such a brilliant result of the COVID era. So we are reaching a time now where through no choice,
Through necessity.
through, you know, a global pandemic, we are now looking inward and we are developing what is inward and, you know, looking at community and, you know, supporting local businesses and all of this. And I love that. You know, like what you were saying earlier about writing to the BBC. No, now's the time to create our own BBC,
Mhm.
you know, and that is what I love to see. Cause this is like 10, 15 years in the making for me when it comes to celebrating Arabia and celebrating Africa. So in terms of African fashion, 10 years ago, I was posting on my Instagram. I would go to Kenya or go to Nigeria or go whatever and look for local artisans and look for fashion designers from there. When I went to Bahrain for the first time in 2009, I walked into a mall and the first thing I saw was like Ralph Lauren, this and that. And I'm like, okay, what about
The locals.
Bahraini designers? What do I need to know and learn of this nation? And that's how I started my consultancy. I started my consultancy through what was supposed to be public relations. It turned out to be education and mentoring and cultivating and building pride in local in locality and pride in local business.
It's beautiful.
So that's what I love to see now. And I hope that that continues post-COVID.
This is exactly what we also focus on. But before we go, she mentioned the BBC because Champs was trying to sell us out. I just want to put it out there.
Yes.
I mean,
He was going to sell us out. He was going to go leave and work for the
I was
BBC.
looking for offers.
He's looking for offers.
You know.
All right. But thank God didn't come through.
He was about to leave
Shams is a
us.
failure.
didn't get
So he
any-
doesn't leave.
I wonder
Shams is a
why.
failure.
You
He was about to go sip tea in London.
No, you don't want him. He's a failure. You don't like him.
I don't have the accent. That's
He's the
probably it.
worst employee in the world.
Yeah.
I hired him. I should know.
Well, I am a product of London, so I wouldn't be that mad if you went to BBC. I wouldn't be, but I still would want you to be home.
Now I
I'm
hate
saying.
her also. So both of them are awful.
I'm a confused post-colonial, post-imperial child of both the UK and Africa. So there you go.
That's a lot of
But I'm
words.
not confused anymore.
Yeah.
You're
Not
not,
anymore.
confused. Not
I'm not
anymore.
confused anymore. I was.
What's home for you?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. I feel a sense of home because it's the sense of home, right? It's not the physicality of it,
Yes.
it's the sense of it.
Mm.
So I feel the strongest sense of home in Kenya, even though I'm Sudanese. I feel Sudan is my home and I treasure it and cherish it. But I think I treasure and cherish it a little too much. So when I see
You're too attached.
I'm too attached. So when I see what goes on there, you know,
Hurts.
but it hurts so much
yeah.
more.
It hurts.
I take it on a personal level
Mm.
so much more. Like I'll go outside, see 3 miles, a 3-mile queue for petrol, and I could just cry, you know?
I hear the same from my Egyptian friends who live here. They say when we go to Egypt,
Mm,
it is not the Egypt that we left.
mm,
It is no longer. It does not feel like home. I feel like a tourist there,
yeah.
and it
So,
sucks.
It hurts
It really
because
does.
it's home.
It really
So
does.
yeah, what I normally do when I go to Sudan is I stay in my grandmother's house or I go to the pyramids because I feel like the pyramids is like my pilgrimage. It's I do it. I meditate. I connect. I revive myself there. But yeah, I don't know if I can call Sudan home yet. But the greatest sense of home is in Kenya.
You should meditate in front of your stock portfolio. You don't have to go nowhere. Just stay at home.
I wish I was a capitalist. I wish if I had that mindset, I would have been a millionaire by now. But unfortunately,
But you are a millionaire in different ways.
I'm a millionaire when it comes to experience for sure. And I'm a millionaire when it comes to
Connections and creativity.
My
Let's
wow,
talk
yeah.
quickly about fashion before you go.
fashion. What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
So yesterday I barely wear sweats. So I was like,
Okay.
yo, let me go buy some sweats. And I
Sure.
went and I was about to buy sweats and I was like, oh, why am I buying sweats when I have Proud Angelus, one of our boys who actually makes sweats?
Nice.
So I called him up and I asked him and I was like, yo, I'm sorry. I was very disrespectful. He's like, why? I was like, I was gonna go buy sweats from someone else, some international brand. I totally forgot that you're right here.
Shame. Shame.
Exactly.
Shame on you. No, I'm
So
joking. Yeah.
we also pride ourselves on the local fashion artists.
Love that.
And we have constant communication with certain of them. That's
Mhm.
what I'm telling you. You came here by the blessings of God.
Yeah.
Because usually I would not allow people to come into this place without knowing who they are first.
Homework.
Like when
Well, you did your homework, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
When Muhammad was at Proud Angels, we were having conversation for 3 months. Saud, we've been having conversations before when we started the podcast.
Oh, I love
Shout
that.
out to Saud.
Shout out to Saud.
Saud.
Yeah.
Good friend of Saud.
Yes.
Why do you know everybody? Go away. Jesus from one area and Saud is coming down to me from the other.
Yeah,
Leave me
love
alone,
that.
guys.
Love that.
How'd you get involved in the fashion industry? Specifically Dubai.
Oh God. It was really by accident. Cause I started, so my career, I think you mentioned earlier fighting with journalists. I started off as a journalist,
I
as
know.
a writer in the UK. Yeah. So fashion kind of just fell into it because at the time this was, I guess you could call was my first kind of cultural cultivation project. So at the time, we know it today as grime. We know the genre as grime,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Skeptas and the Lethal Bees and the drill kind of evolution of grime now. So back then it didn't even have a name. It was just this
Underground movement.
invasion, more like. It was an invasion of sound that was coming about. It didn't really have a name. And there was no representative of that sound other than our underground magazine called Rewind. So what we were doing was shaping the story of grime. We were, there were days where I'd be media training like the first interviews that Kano ever had, and I don't know, Lethal B, Wiley. Wiley used to bring in all of his pay-as-you-go crew. Wiley being the Godfather, he was bringing in the artists like tenfold, and we would sit with them, and I would sit and train them and prepare them, and so we were really defining the story of this movement, and when no one else was. So because it blew up, So Solid went to number 1 with 21 Seconds. I don't know if you guys remember that. I got 21 seconds.
Way back in the day.
Way back. This is way back. So when 21 Seconds went number 1, there was this sudden interest from corporates, fashion,
Of course.
into this sound, this movement. So I fell into fashion because I then started working closely with brands on product placement, aligning artists with either Puma or Adidas or Chanel or Moad and blah, blah, blah. So it was just a very kind of organic, natural
growth
relationship. Yeah. And then it evolved because I went to the UN and I kind of left. I don't know. I felt like I needed, I was young and crazy. I really genuinely thought I could change the world.
we all once did.
Yeah.
We all
And
once
you went to
did.
the wrong place.
Well, yeah. I
Yes,
mean,
yeah.
So I joined the UN.
We are
but
not big fans of the
still-
UN here. At the PTK, we do not like the UN.
And we are all mature enough to have that conversation.
Yes.
We do not like any of the multinationals.
Yes.
All
And
of
I
them.
don't blame you,
Yes.
to be honest. I
FIFA,
don't.
UEFA, UN, WHO,
World-
you're all the same.
World Bank, World
I
Food,
have,
Nestle.
yeah, I have huge questions for WHO. Huge.
Yes.
And I think anybody with half a brain needs to ask questions.
Hella questions.
Hella questions. But
Yes.
yeah, but when I joined the UN, I also, that was where I felt a need of kind of combining and implementing popular culture with social impact. Like, you know, what is good, what young people consider good and popular and attractive to humanitarian responsibility, social responsibility.
So fundraising concerts, for example.
Yeah, hosting, promoting peace culture, encouraging artists to you know, working with artists to encourage peace in the communities, things like that. So that's where that marriage came, and through that was always forever writing. I'm always writing. So
So you took that and you went to Vogue.
I did. I went to Vogue. Yeah, I did
So
a number of times.
This was post UN.
This was post UN. Yeah, I started a business in Bahrain, which was that emergence of social responsibility with cultural
Culture.
cultivation, celebrating local creativity, and blah blah blah. So it was that kind of myriad of influence to engage and build socially responsible businesses, which is now known as sustainability.
Yes.
Yeah.
The white man labeled it.
Diversity and inclusion.
Oh, that's
Yes.
different. That's different. But sustainability,
different, yeah.
sustainability is a good thing.
Sustainability is a great thing, but what I find so funny about sustainability is like, wow, you guys really think you're teaching us something new. Like,
No,
what are you
it's
doing?
exactly-
Yeah, exactly.
We've been knowing this. You're the
Yeah,
ones that have
true.
damaged the world.
True.
You're the ones that are
Yes.
ruining our oceans. And now
True.
you want to talk to us.
Yes.
Guys,
It's just repackaged.
it's just like everything, taking from us, repackaging it and selling it back to us.
Most
so
definitely.
I'm like, bro, okay, I've been sustainable. Thank you. Thank you very much.
They preach, honestly.
Yeah. And the same thing with, I sit on a number of diversity and inclusion boards, and I really have a problem with those words because one, I am not a portfolio. I am not diverse. I am who I am.
I'm
So
not
I
a
don't-
box to be ticked off.
No, like how can you call somebody diverse? Like that's so, if you deep it, like if you actually deep it, it's a mad term. Like
Yes, it is.
you're Saudi, I'm Sudanese, British, Saudi, this thing, like no. And inclusion included in what?
Everything. You need to have
I don't know. Explain to me. I'm fine where I am.
peace-
I have my own throne right here.
PC culture has gone
Yeah.
overdrive in the sense of trying to compensate for all of the historical, racial, and class-based divisions that have happened over the past
True.
50 years.
Mm.
And this is
Preach,
a,
Bushamsi.
this is a
Preach.
band-aid on a stab wound. This is
Mhm.
what it is.
Mhm.
I see it. I've been
Yeah.
telling these guys about it. They thankfully
You
see
haven't
it.
been telling me nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Not a single word.
They haven't been
Sorry.
listening.
We're gonna sell them out.
It's
No.
a nice, you know. It's a not. I feel like it's the cheapest of band-aids, though.
Yes.
It is.
It's
It
the
is.
cheapest.
It's
of
the
Band-Aids.
lowest hanging fruit that these corporations and companies can go and point to say, look at how we're being
It's so bad.
socially responsible.
And if you think about it, it is a continuation of boxing, because you walk in and now sadly voluntary boxing, because if I walk into a room, I walk into a room and I'm like, I'm a creative, or I am a businesswoman, or I am a Renaissance woman. I'm not going to put I am a diverse businesswoman, or I am an inclusive creative, or I am a BAME employee.
That's the UK term.
That's the
Yes.
UK term, BAME. I mean, okay. So yeah, I'm not going to put, I believe
Don't box me into anything.
Don't box me, and I won't box myself, because if I walk into a room, I'm not going to create a corner of BAME or a corner of diverse. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to walk into a room equal to everybody in the room, and I don't know.
It's
I
the
feel like
intermixing of everything. So when you
Yeah.
try to separate when you try to separate people into categories,
That's
and you
it.
try to label them
Thank you.
as you mentioned, African or Saudi or
Hmm.
Muslim or whatever it is, you're taking away the common humanity
That's
underneath
it.
all of it.
Exactly.
And that goes right back, full circles, right back to third culture, right?
With that being said, that was amazing. Oh, my bad. Wrong one.
That's
No.
all right.
We talked for way longer than an hour. Didn't we?
No. We're still here.
Pretty much an hour.
I have
Oh, it's been over an hour.
no. We've been here for longer than an hour. We haven't been recording
Oh,
for an
we
hour.
have?
This has been a great conversation.
Oh no, we're not even done with this. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna tell you something else. I have an opinion on something.
Tell me.
I'll listen. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I see your futures in Africa, and I'll tell you why.
You see my future in
Yeah.
Africa. Oh, I love that.
I
do
see your future. I see the changes that's happening in Africa
too. Mm-hmm.
and the growth that's happening in Africa,
Mm.
and I see why Kenya is a calling.
I'd love to know why you see that.
Well, I think for a long, long time, Africa was being sucked dry for all of its resources.
Mm-hmm.
And we are at a time of change where you see growth in Nigeria, you see growth in Kenya, you see growth in Sudan, you see growth everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That growth is not going to be stopped by no white man. And
Mm.
that change that's coming, it's going to be a wild change. If you look at just applications
Mm.
in Nigeria, there's a whole story that we can have a conversation on over there.
Oh yeah,
The
the,
whole
tech.
ecosystem.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
The technocrat communities across Africa is what they're doing, what they're creating.
It's
Silicon Valley
crazy.
are just watching.
Exactly.
Especially when it
And
comes to-
trying to capitalize on it.
Yeah,
Especially when it comes
massively.
to mobile, to banking,
Very much so.
and the intersection between those two.
Yeah.
And logistics and shopping, everything.
It's incredible because we bypassed Africa. It's so interesting. It's like we're going through the Industrial Revolution right now, but without all the hiccups.
Yes.
It's kind of we're getting straight to
Without
it.
the coal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already have
yes,
the case study of
yes.
what's supposed to happen, how
Yes.
it's supposed to go.
Exactly.
You're
You're
straight
not
to
you're
solar.
not joining late and trying to catch up. No, you jumped
No.
on board.
No, you
And I
just-
feel like the tech movement in particular, since you've highlighted it, has been so solutions based rather than
Exactly.
catering to procrastination,
Mhm.
which is kind of the direction I'm seeing now with the West and tech. It's kind of just this encouragement of
laziness.
whereas in Africa it's so focused on solutions, which is incredible. There's a term, the kings. So the 5 African countries that are really leading on the tech movement, tech development, it's Kenya, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, and Senegal. So yeah.
Shout out to
For
all
those who are
African
down.
brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
kings.
yeah.
Rozan,
it's
thank you for
very
being here.
exciting, Very exciting.
It's been a fucking pleasure.
Oh,
Agreed.
thank
Yeah.
I'm
you,
so great that
man.
you reached out. I'm so grateful that my boys told me, yo, go ahead and don't ask questions. It's been amazing.
Great
Love
discussion.
it.
This could have gone on for another 3-4 hours.
It really could
Yes,
have,
it
guys.
should.
But
Yeah,
thank you so much
it
for
really
joining
could
us.
have.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the hard work that you've been putting in.
Thank
And
you.
I'm grateful to know you as a person
Yes.
more than just as anything else.
Yes.
Besides the name tags,
Oh,
as the
thanks,
human
man.
that's in front of us.
Thanks, man. I like to see myself as a sister of Saudi. In terms,
We're not
of
going to
like-
accept that. We're going to end this with hate.
You are gonna. You are. But see, you don't have a choice, bro. You don't have a choice.
Well, arms wide open. honestly.
Aw,
Thank you so much for
thanks,
being
man.
here. We out.
We have
We out.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.